Hello, is it good? Do you see me? Back again here, new room. Perfect. Okay, I think you're getting me. Give me those claps if you're seeing me and getting me. Perfect. Okay, we're good. Good to go. So again, what a wonderful presentation. It's full of optimism and good things for 2021 and for the future of event industry. And I highlighted that there was an important trend shared by everybody, which is engagement. And actually, before knowing the results of this poll, we decided to make engagement the second biggest subject of our event today. And for that, we have a very special guest. Let's bring him on board. This is Vincent Bruneau, CEO and founder of Sparkup, who we're using. And it's one of our sponsors today. Vincent, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much. It's been great to see our two solutions working together. The first thing is I want to say thank you so much for your time, for being here, but also to your team because they've been very helpful into building all the event together. So I want to say to Mathieu and to Dimitri from your team, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mauricio, and so grateful to be here today as well with you and just being there to share some times with all the Eventia team. I mean, this is wonderful.
Perfect. That is great. So, yeah, engagement. We just saw that it's actually a very important concept, and people see it as one of the key things for going into the future of our industry. It was already a big subject in live events. Now, but engagement is a tricky concept, and I must say it because I'm a native Spanish speaker. In Spanish, we don't really have a very good word to talk about engagement. Actually, in Eventia, when we translate our English articles to Spanish, we translate it as engagement, like in italic, because it's not easy to find a word. So I wanted to start and asking our audience to go to the interactivity tab and let's respond to this question in one word. How would you define engagement? What does engagement mean to you? Let's see the word coming. You can write them in Spanish or French if you feel so. One word. You see them coming. That's amazing. Maybe can we bring the cloud on stage? Perfect.
Okay, cool. Nice. Very cool.
Participation, connection, magic. That's very interesting. Personal connection.
Interactivity, motivation. Okay.
Immersive. Compromiso. That's a very, I would say, literal translation.
And it's the same in French, Mauricio. Engagement is like there is no direct translation for it. So
yeah, it's the same.
That's all with you right now.
Participation. So it goes around about participation, not about being passive. It's about being active. Perfect, Vincent. So this is quite interesting. This year we've been, in these virtual events all along, and we're experiencing this. We were talking about it, this fatigue. So engagement in these virtual environments is complicated. What can you tell us about engagement, and what do the studies say about engagement?
Yeah, Mauricio, can you hear me well? Because sorry, I don't know what's this kind of music starting somewhere on another building. It's not. Is that okay? Can you hear me well?
We can hear you well.
It's not too bad. The sound on the background. Okay.
Sounds good. People are telling that it's good.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I mean, fantastic question. What does engagement mean? And I think this is just a huge question at some point. Like, where do you really start answering that questions? Even if it sounds different in different languages. I will say let's have at first a perception. Let's look at the perception from the event organizer first, and maybe from the attendee perception. I mean, being engaged from a different angle. I would say from the event organizer, it's more like I would say being engaged means being active and aware on how you want to create an experience on your event. I would say engagement could be emotional. Engagement is emotional. You have no feeling at the end of the day if you don't create a strong emotional climax, no real true engagement with your people, with your audience. And I will say as well from an event organizer side, you need to create a lasting memory. You want your experience to last after the event. You want your experience to extend at some point after the event so you can remember what was this experience. And I think these three things, activation, emotional, and lasting memory, could be the best three key words to define engagement in general and from the event organizer. But if I step back just a second, let's make a quick pause right now, maybe a pause of 5 seconds, and ask three questions. I'm going to ask everyone right now to think about one event that you really liked in the past. Question number one. Question number two, think about how much you have been actively involved into that experience. Think about how you have experienced different emotions and how you have felt these emotions, and think about how that experience extended your experience beyond the time frame of that specific event. And it's hard to ask yourself this question. And I think everyone can relate it to any kind of event. Okay, did I feel something? What do you really remember from that event right now? And I think this is extremely important to ask yourself this question if you want to maximize your engagement. But let's step back again and look at that through a different angle, because it's a tough question. What does engagement mean? And does it mean the same in Spanish, in French, in different languages, But if we look at that from the perception of the attendee point of view, I will say, let's imagine I am a participant right now asking myself these three questions. So I'm here, I'm watching you, Mauricio, I'm watching myself, I would say, and I'm asking myself three questions. How much am I focused on what is being presented right now and how involved I am? This is cognitive. What do I really feel about what is happening? Emotion again, coming. And am I taking reaction as a result of my engagement right now? Behavior, my comportment. So that's all these things I think will define really the real question I have to ask myself to make me feel as an attendee or as an event organizer. Am I really engaged, and what is real engagement for that? And of course, last question, how can you get and keep people engaged? Because it's all about people at the end of the day. We know that perfectly. Just to close that big question, I would say, for me, and we will come back to that a little bit later in our conversations, I think there is 4 levels for me of engagement and commitment for the attendees, because of course I'm engaged, I'm committed. It could be a virtual event or a live event. We'll come back to that in a few seconds. And I think this 4 level, we can call that how we want to call it. I would say level 1 is like you have passive attendees, and we will talk about attention span in a second. Passive attendees is step 1. Step 2 is like involved attendees are more involved on what's happening on the content. Level 3 is like being actor. You want to transform your involved attendee into an actor attendees. And I will say level 4, the best one, is like actor beyond. And being actor and beyond means like after the event, I'm still contributing and interacting and producing and engaged. I'm still engaged on what has been done at the event. Well, I don't know, Mauricio, that's a very tough question. I don't know. I'm trying just to give you a quick thought. I know we don't have a lot of time today, but that's maybe the way I can see things around that questions.
Perfect. Okay, that's very interesting. And just to make this again more engaging and interactive, we have a Q&A that will be open across the conversation. So if you open the interactivity tab on the right of your screen, you can start writing your questions, and we'll be dealing with them as we go. But Vincent, we had prepared a small quiz about engagement. So we're going to remove the questions for the moment, and there is this quiz that you usually run when you speak. So why don't we just launch it?
Go. Let's go for it. Yes, why not? I mean, it's perfect timing. We have many quizzes, and it's good. Okay, let's do that. Perfect.
Excellent. So this quiz, we're showing on the screen, the results are going to come, but on the right of the screen, you can give your answers. So the first question here would be, what's the greatest fatigue you've experienced in 2020? So sweatpants fatigue, Zoom fatigue. COVID newsletters fatigue, Netflix fatigue. Netflix fatigue was there before Will mentioned about it.
Come on, guys, don't lie to us. You can click on Netflix fatigue.
Perfect. We see the responses come in.
Yeah, it gives like maybe.
Yeah, nobody seems to be fatigued about Netflix so far. Oh, just a couple. Okay, yeah, really, we're all willing to go into the physical world again and shake hands and drink champagnes at event. Great. What about the next question?
Okay, so how many decisions does an adult make per day on average? And I think we are asking all these questions right now because, of course, we are going to create a little debate and see and share some ideas and input on all of these questions. And how many decisions right now does an adult make per day on average? Guys, we give you like maybe 10, 20 seconds to vote on that. Okay, 3,500, 1,800, 750. Excellent.
Let us see the results.
Great.
Wow, so it's very, very not a clear response from the audience. So what is the right answer, Vincent?
So the right answer is 3,500 just thought per day. And let me give you one important thing. In all these thought, 260 thoughts are only for the food. Just 3,500 thoughts a day, 250 thoughts just for the food. It could be conscious and unconscious, of course. And it's not conscious and unconscious thoughts daily. I think we can jump on the next question, and then maybe we can, or maybe we can just talk a little bit about Zoom fatigue, or right away you want to do all the question, maybe Mauricio?
As you wish. Well, this is already on the screen. People are starting to give some answers.
Perfect. So next question, the number of time an average person check his phone per day is, do you think it's 40, 96, maybe 150 times a day? We will give you maybe 10 or 15 seconds to answer that question before we launch, we freeze it. I'm sure you guys already know the answer, but there's a little details I will share with you in a second. Okay, 20 people voting right now. Let's wait a little bit more. Okay, so how many times are you checking your day? And don't be shy. I know you guys are all checking your phone right now. Don't be shy about that. And maybe already 3 times since the beginning of this event. It's like a bad habit. By the way, if you have seen this documentary, Social Dilemma, is a friend of mine, Tristan Harris, on Netflix, you need to have a quick look at that, the economy of attention, and we will come back to that in a second. I think we're good for the answers, result. Matthew, maybe if you can show us a little bit the result, of course. Okay, of course. Okay, so 71 is 150 is for our generation Y and X. And right now, for new generation, it's more than 150. So it's 96, sorry, for our generations, X and Y, and it could be more for the new generations. So maybe last question, Matthew, can you share with us the last question with us? So our attention span has decreased from 12 seconds to 20.25 seconds in 20 years. Is that true? Is that false? Usually we like to compare our attention span to the one of a goldfish, but I mean like close to 3 seconds in 20 years, it's quite a lot. So I will give you a few last seconds before we dig and we jump into this big subject of Zoom fatigue and attention span and what has really changed in the virtual world the last 8 days. I think that's, Mauricio, we have a lot to share about that after that. Maybe let's have a quick look. Okay, 100% for sure. I think you guys already know the answer. I think we are going to freeze that last questions. And thank you very much, Mathieu. I think this is our last question so far right now. And
it is.
100% we lost. Our attention span has decreased definitely from 12 seconds to 8.25 seconds in 20 years. So I'm very scared right now on what's going to happen on the next 20 years. I hope we're not going to lose too much of attention. Great. I think maybe we can close the vote right now. And Mauricio, maybe you want to ask me about, maybe keep going on the conversation, or you want to jump on that questions?
No, I wanted to see if we bring the Q&A, if we have already some questions from the audience. So we have one question on the Q&A here. We say is how to keep people engaged during online events. It's actually hard, and actually you guys are expert at it. We're using these engagement tools. Can you tell us more about how do you apply this in online events, and how to keep people engaged all along?
Okay, so there is a lot to say right now on that subject. Let's step back and give some context a little bit. I mean, virtual event platform have evolved more in the past 8 months than in the past 8 years. I mean, Mauricio, I mean, we've seen like a lot of things changing on the field the last 8 months. And of course, you don't get as a participant the same amount of endorphins during a virtual event as you would during as an in-person event. So two things become completely invisible online. As a participant, you lose a sense of belonging, no social bond, no creativity, no vibrating energy. And as a speaker, you have no real connection with the audience. You can hear the reaction, you can see the audience, and most of the verbal and non-verbal feedback completely disappear. So I would say that attendees are less and less engaged. And I saw a question on the session just right before me, like, how do you fight Zoom fatigue? And it's great because this question is coming back right now. We're asking you in a few seconds, how do you guys fight Zoom fatigue? So I would say just about the Zoom fatigue, first, during a virtual event and meetings, we miss out a lot of non-verbal communication because 99% of our communication is non-verbal. So 55% of body language right now, so I'm making some movement, but I'm still losing at least 30 or 40% right now as a speaker of my verbal communication. And 38% of the communication is your voice and the tone of your voice. So we lose eye contact, gesture, touch, face, body movement. So people want to be engaged, but we need to be conscious of that one thing. We lose a big part of a non-verbal communication right now. So I would say that non-verbal communication is important because it plays a significant role in our life to engage and establish connection and interaction with people. And we'll talk about networking with you in a moment to see as well, Mauricio. So of course, we need to reinforce verbal communication and non-verbal feedback. Interesting, the data the little quiz we just did, because we made a research with Sparkup among 10,000 people in Europe, and here are the results. 55% of people don't feel heard during virtual meetings, and 75% of attendees feel that they are hardly or not at all involved during virtual meetings, which is great because, and I love about that, about Eventia, you guys were already giving the possibility during the video to share about what we call non-verbal feedback. I love, I support, I thank you, I like it. And this is what we get right now. Non-verbal feedback are key. I mean, this is the basic. Non-verbal feedback should be on any kind of video. But starting to talk with Mauricio right now as well, we started to ask you some questions. We're starting to get interested about you. We want to know more what you know, what you don't know, what do you think, maybe you have some perceptions, and starting to get interested to give a voice to your audience is key, is number one. Non-verbal feedback and giving a voice. So prime is other thing, we are fighting what we call attention span. That was the last question we asked you. How much did we lose the last 20 years? And there is 3 stages of attention, and I would just give them to you quickly. It's interesting how we are going to go back to that in a second as well. We have 3 stages of attention. First stage is immediate attention, which is kind of like, I would say, driven by a stimulus. Like you have a spider on your bed, you jump out of your bed, it's like your first attention. The short attention, you are watching a movie on Netflix. Interesting, we're speaking about Netflix. And consciously, you want to watch a movie. You decided so, you want to watch this movie, but you don't know, maybe you might receive a message on your phone and you are going to put the movie on pause and you will be gone, you will lose your attention. And the third stage of attention is your long attention. Long attention is the best attention to get, which is hard because it's driven by knowledge. What you've learned on your past, okay, I want to study these kind of things, and I know exactly I will improve myself right there. So the more your content is interesting, the more the people want to improve themselves or learn more about something, the more it will be driven to the long attention. So of course, we are speaking about engagement, activation, emotion, but important thing is like, how am I going to really be sure I will capture people's attention to drive them from immediate to short to long. as well as making your spectator progress from being just a passive attendee to an acting attendee. So I think that's before we dig maybe to like maybe a little bit more maybe to next question on engagement. I think it's extremely important to stay back and be super conscious about that, because just bringing an interaction without really being cautious about where do you want to go, how do you want your experience to be driven, what kind of emotion do you want to create, what do you want the people to think after your event, when they are coming back home, how do you want the people to feel about your event. All these kind of things are extremely, I think, important for at least for a good step back.
That's fine. I listen to you and I hear a word coming a lot, which is emotion. It really comes a lot, and it brings into mind to me something that I know about you. And I heard that you, in your previous life, you were a mentalist and a magician, and actually you've been integrating this into your current endeavors. So I'd like to know, what is the relationship between magic and engagement, and yeah, what can you tell us about it?
Well, only for you, this is a secret between me and you, Mauricio, usually, but okay, let's talk about magic a little bit. So yeah, sure. So I'm still, I mean, you don't lose, it's like riding a bike, you know, when you've been doing magic and mentalism all your life. I'm still doing it for myself, but I'm going to try right now to answer your question is trying to really create a parallel between what I just said about attention span and everything and how magic works. The thing is that there's three things to remember about engagement, and I was just talking about that. You have to create an experience, you have to create an emotion, and you have to create a lasting memory. We were talking about that just 2 minutes ago. Interesting, because it's exactly the way a magic trick works. And my job as a magician was to not just to do a trick for a trick. My job was to create a strong emotional connection between a brand and their audience using magic, and of course to capture their attention and to help them to deliver a specific message, to anchor a message. So let's have a quick step back on how your brain functions. I'm going to try to explain that very easily. Our brain is constantly trying to predict a future reality all the time. When you fall asleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, you're always trying to predict the futurity. Oh, this is going to happen to me. Maybe no, maybe I should do that. And it's interesting because these predictions are based on your past experience and what you have learned in the past on. And a magic trick is a new reality as well that creates automatically a brain prediction. And I'm trying to understand and predict, oh, what I just saw, what just happening. But the thing is, like, you don't understand this new reality because it's a magic trick and your brain cannot function that because it has never seen that before. And of course, that catches your immediate attention. So I think magic trick is great. The process is fantastic to catch your immediate attention and of course create emotion. Some scientists say that when you do magic tricks, you have 3 emotions that could be highlighted at the end of the effect. It's joy, interest, and surprise. And on the event industry, other scientists and neuroscientists claims that surprise and novelty are the best emotion to attract people's attention. So not so far from magic, right? At least we have surprise in common, you know. So surprise and novelty are the 2 key things you need to create. So I want to engage my people, yes, but how do I create surprise? This is key. And I think this is the first question any organizer in the world should say, how am I going to surprise anyone today, right now? So
can you surprise us, Vincent? Do you have a trick under the sleeve to do?
You want to levitate right now? Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm going to do a special surprise for you right now, okay? Yeah, let's do it. Maybe we could invite more people from the stream, no? Can you invite more people from the stream?
We have someone else in the backstage. I think we have Mathieu, Victoria, maybe. Can someone come up on the stage with us for some magic? Oh, Victoria, hey. So welcome, Victoria, to the stage.
Hey, everyone.
Let's get ready to be surprised.
So let's do a quick surprise, okay, virtually right now. Okay, so, well, hi Victoria, how are you doing?
Hi. As long as you don't make me disappear, I'm good.
Well, I'm a magician, but I don't make miracle like that happen. You know, it's like, you know, when you're asking like, wow, making someone disappear, and it's very expensive to make someone disappear. So
okay. I'm calm now.
I got some numbers right there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 1 as well. And I'm just going to ask you, please, which one do you want to choose? Let's choose a number first. Any numbers?
5.
5. You want number 5? Okay, right now. Where do you want to put the number? On the top, on the bottom, on the left, on the right, top left, top right, and wherever you want. You tell me.
On the top. On the top.
Top left, top right, top middle?
Top left.
Is this here, my left, or the other side?
Your left. I think it's easier.
Here? Okay,
yeah.
My left. Okay, my left is here. Okay, thank you. Okay, now Mauricio. Mauricio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one do you want?
I want 2.
You want number 2? Okay, where do you want to put it? On the top, on the right, bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom left, right, middle, center?
Below the 5.
Below the 5. Okay, you sure about that? I'm not trying to influence you to change anything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Victoria, your turn. Which one do you want?
1.
By the way, are you good in math?
No.
No complicated calculation. You want number 1. Which one do you want to put it? Middle, center? Where do you want to put it?
Top.
Top, center, left?
Left.
Okay, top left. Excellent. And you know what? We have Mauricio, your turn again. Before that, sorry. Let's make a quick break right now. Mauricio, if you have to keep one now, if you have to give me one word for you in engagement, one strong word right now that is so important in the virtual world right now, what would be this word?
Emotion.
Emotion. And Victoria, for you right now, if you have to think about a simple drawing that is connected with the virtual world, and not just a simple drawing that just create an emotion rather, because Mauricio, you say emotion. Imagine a drawing connected to that emotion right now. What would be this drawing or this picture?
The famous Japanese wave. I forgot the...
Yeah, like
a wave. Yeah.
A wave. Okay, kind of wave. Okay. No, because right there I forgot to say that there is a yellow envelope just right there, and we'll come back to that in a second. Maybe it's connected to something emotional, maybe not. We don't know. We'll see that in a second. But let's keep going. 3, Mauricio. 3, 4, and 6. Last number. Which one do you want?
6.
You want 6? Okay. Where do you want to put it? On the bottom, on the middle, on the left?
On the middle, on the bottom.
Bottom. Okay. And you know what? We have 2 numbers left. And Victoria, this is very important, because here we have 43. We can put it right there. But just before you make your choice, if I switch the number, I can tell you something incredible will happen. I'm not trying to influence you or anything. I'm just saying, if I switch the number, something incredible will happen. What do you want to do? You want to keep it this way, or you want to influence that? To change it?
Switch it.
I love it. It's called reverse psychology. It works all the time. I do this and I do this, but interestingly, we have number right. But let's have a look what's on the back of this number. If you really connect them all together like that, what can you guys see? Sorry, here, and here. It's written Sparkup. That's pretty cool, no? Wow. You guys are so good at that. The thing is, like, Mauricio, we were talking about emotion, but let's have a quick look on what's inside that envelope right now, okay? And just turn that envelope very slowly right there, open that envelope just right there, and just nothing in my hand, but just inside that envelope, I got a word written since the beginning of that. It's called emotion, And what about that? And if you look at wave, a Japanese wave, and that is strong, that is connection, and thank you very much for that quick explanation.
Thank you.
So, back with my camera. Thank you. So, thank you very much. So let's have a quick. You're gone. Victoria's gone. Thank you. So, Mauricio, let's have a quick analysis of what I just did. Okay.
Let's do.
Yeah. So first, my goal here was to capture your immediate attention, to activate your stimulus. Like boom, numbers, what's happening. When I was talking about math or calculation, maybe you say, maybe I'm just trying to create something, starting an experience in your head, and. Of course, this is for your short attention because I motivate you to focus on something, the number. And here my goal, of course, was to capture attention, then activate the audience. Everyone's like, okay, what this guy is doing right now? Create an emotions. Interesting, you just thought about the word emotions around the event. Highlight our brand, Sparkup, and create a strong link between and a lasting memory between Sparkup and Eventia. Today, it's an amazing Eventia from event. And I was like, okay, let's create this link. And the link has been just what I call an emotional climax. That's exactly what I just did using these tricks. Again, active the people, emotion, lasting memory. Exactly what I was talking about, engagement at first, to keep it simple. So of course, and I love the word you chose, inject emotion in your event.
Wow, I'm amazed, and we did have a lot of engagement. So it really proves that surprise it's a factor for triggering that engagement. That is very cool. Vincent, I propose that we take a look at the questions from the audience. Maybe we can bring them up. Mathieu from backstage. Yeah, there they are. So these are the most upvoted questions. What's the best item you've received at home before a virtual event, and why was it the best?
Okay, so what is the best item you received at home before a virtual event, and why was it best? Okay, so that is cool because I've been doing a lot of virtual events, and I've received a lot of kind of boxes. Okay, boxes with experience inside the boxes. Then you can connect virtually with eventual Sparkup, and this is cool. For example, I've been attending a show with Anthony Robbins, so you receive kind of like a mask because it's a 3 days coaching sessions. So it's always connected. The content inside your box will be connected to your event. Tomorrow, we are doing a show right there for a company in Switzerland. There is like more than 1,000 people, 19 countries. They receive a box, a magic box with tricks inside them, that all the tricks will be connected to the work togetherness. So the CEO of the company, he wants to deliver a strong message, and we are going to use this experience. The good part of sending something to people's home is like at some point they can rely on something. They have something, they can touch something, and they can feel connected with the event without attending the event. So I don't know if this question relates to that, but yeah.
Okay, I know it's good to have a physical object to engage with. So we've seen many people, many retailers send in packages, for doing wine tasting or sharing a meal with people who are all around. We've already answered a question number 2 here, how to keep people engaged during online events. But there's the third one, which I found very interesting, is how do you manage latency when you're making live interaction? So I kind of would like to explain the challenge that it was here. So usually latency in the tools that we use have a 20, 30, even 40 seconds latency, which makes it very challenging to do what we're doing today. And actually, with the help of Sparkup, we were able to implement a streaming tool that is low latency. And that is why it's helping us to doing this very reactive. Maybe Vincent, I know you're not the CTO, but can you tell us more about this? Because that's a challenge that you face very often.
Yeah, and it's very key. And thank you, Mauricio, for highlighting that part. I mean, today, if you guys want to do real pure interaction with less than 1 or 2 seconds, you need to have low latency server. And this is really key when you are doing events with 500, 1,000, 200, 10,000 people, where you want to be sure that you feel the interaction. Latency doesn't work with interaction. So unless you are doing like a tiny workshop or maybe a breakout session, because you have a small group, so it's fine because you have a small group, you are sharing a conversation. But when you are really doing live event and you have more than 500,000 people, low latency is definitely key to really have less than 1 or 2 seconds. YouTube video, Vimeo, this platform right now, they have like, I would say 10 seconds to 15 seconds in a good day of latency, which is a lot. I mean, if you do live voting or interaction right now, and you have to wait 10 or 15 seconds to have the result of what you are doing or any kind of games, it's definitely not working.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, it's definitely, and this is what's made these interactions today possible, because we're using low latency servers. Time is running very fast, Vincent, and actually my last question was, what are your tips, best practices for engagement with virtual events?
Yeah, well, it's like, okay, I will try to do my best. I think, first of all, with the mindset of a magician, I would say, always picture your virtual audience as the people on the balcony in the theater. Let's imagine right now, I wanted to say right now, thank you for inviting me into your home or into your office right now. I feel I'm with you, I'm next to you, and always trying to create a sense of belonging, like the experience was real in one person. And it is difficult because it's a projection of feeling like we are together right now. So I would say tips number 2, inject intentionally emotion into your event. I mean, emotion is contagious. So if people are having fun, of course, other people are going to have fun, even if they are not together, but they will feel you are having fun on the camera. I think Sending an object to your event is an amazing tip. I mean, we have been doing that quite a few times. This is the box, by the way, I was just talking about right now, and there's a lot of stuff inside it, lots of really cool stuff. This is a really box that has been inside for a show we're doing tomorrow called We Are Live. And I would say stimulate attendees' attention right from the start and connect at a personal level. Doing a tag cloud like we've done today, like, hey, we want to know you to know what is engagement for you. Before talking about us, we wanted to hear about you. We wanted to give you a voice. And I think this is key, you know. My best tips that I can give to anyone right now, it's called the reset, restart. Means every 3 to 5 minutes, you lose people attention on an event, on a virtual event. You lose their attention, and their attention comes back after 40 to 45 minutes. Means when I say reset, restart, every 3-4 minutes, you need to do something. Launch an activities, engage your participants, do something, any kind of surprise them, create an emotion, do something that would reconnect them, which is kind of like what we've tried to do today with the magic tricks, with the live voting. We've tried to activate you as much as we could with Mauricio today to be sure that you guys were engaged and were with us. So restart. If I want to say last things, like at the beginning of the presentation, I was talking about 4 levels of attendees. I would say, okay, you have the passive attendees. Passive attendees definitely is suffering from attention span. Boom. Right now I'm checking my phone. Oh, sorry, I lost what I was saying. So I would say the involved attendee is, if we are using interactivity, is going to start. It's good to activate him with a simple activity, to create a discussion with him, to take the pulse. Hey, what do you think? Yes or no? Thumb up. To create some icebreaker. Icebreaker is key, you know. Tacklad is a great icebreaker when you want to start a session, a Q&A session. Gamification is great because gamification creates endorphin and dopamine, and this is key. You automatically, when people are having a little games with you, automatically the brain is endorphin, dopamine. It's like going to do some sports. So collect non-verbal feedback like we were just doing on the Inventia platform today is fantastic as well, because from the start you can share. We are taking care of what you're saying. So this is, I think, the involved level. If you want to go and transform your attendees from involved attendee to actor attendee, I will say you need to ask them to create some value. And here you need to use a tool like a brainstormer in breakout session or tools like that. To push you need to create data, value, not just participate, interact, but then to create some content. And I will say to go from the actor to actor beyond, last level of attention, it's more about like all the experiences you will create during the event and the emotional hook you will create with them, so they will remember your event and they were like, okay, I need to go further and do more than that. But I think that would be my tips, quite what I believe into right now. But Mauricio, I got a question for you as well, because I shared my tips, but I know you're also an amazing expert about virtual events right now. I mean, you guys are running amazing events all over the world. And what are the best practices, and specifically what is interesting, I think it's in terms of networking as well, because it's a huge subject right now to meet people online. And what can you share with us about that?
And also because actually we're running out of the meeting of time for this session, which actually it's closing. But your question is very interesting. Our next session is called What We Learn About Our First Online Event. So I'm going to be with my 2 co-speakers, but I will make sure that we answer the question, what are our tips to generate engagement, especially about virtual events? Again, Vincent, thank you so much for being today. I want everybody to give a big applause to Vincent. It's been great, and also applause to Sparkup for their support into building this event. Thank you so much.
Everyone, bye. Thank you, Mauricio.